Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. My colleague of this year and what's happening in the Amazon, the Rio Salome, the Rio Negro, it's the worst drought on record. The fact that the scientists who predicted all of this decades ago or have been proven dead right should cause the rest of us to pay more attention to what they're telling us now. Do we listen to the polluters who don't want to do anything meaningful that might reduce fossil fuels, or do we listen to the scientists who have been telling us what we need to do? Lakes and inland seas, like the Caspian, for example, the increased evaporation, other factors, but Greenland is now losing 30 million tons of ice every hour. During the hour that we're in this room, 30 million tons will go from Greenland. That is fresh water coming off Greenland into the North Atlantic, where a key part of the ocean current circulation system is involved. It could be disrupted. Some scientists disagree, but more and more they're raising the alarm. And if you look at the bottom statement, these scientists say in this peer-reviewed study, we estimate it collapsed around mid-century. What? Some of the load-bearing elements of our entire Earth ecological system are at risk. And what are we doing? Just talking away, not making much progress. Again, you can see the particulate pollution, again, going to these areas, and predominantly, a lot of it goes in. Of course, Typhoon Yagi in Southeast Asia killed more than 500 people. And I could pick these examples and show you this happening all over the world. And I used to say this happened 5 years ago, this happened 10 years ago. Now I say this happened last week, this happened 2 weeks ago, because it's getting worse. It's getting a lot worse quickly and will continue to get worse until we as humanity decide to organize ourselves well enough to take action. That's what we're supposed to be doing here at this COP. Same thing happens. Black, brown, and indigenous people live, and the life expectancy there has gone down. We just have to decide how long the world is going to cower in front of the financial and political power of the fossil fuel industry. If we can find it within ourselves in every country to come together and make intelligent choices, we can solve this. Tell them about Jane Burston.
Thank you. So in the United States, in some cases, these data have already been available.
If you doubt for one moment that we have the political will necessary, remember political will is itself a renewable resource. But if you look, now, does this mean that there couldn't be a breakthrough? Yes, we had an election in the U.S., but here's why he says they won't be able to stop. When Trump was president last time, the solar and wind expansion and EV continued anyway because economics are driving it, and because state and provincial and city governments and companies are driving it. Maybe. I wouldn't bet on it if it hasn't happened in 50 years. And in the last 20 years, there's been a little in the fossil fuel industry that has spared no expense to try to capture the process. You know, they're way better at capturing politicians than emissions. They've gotten pretty good at capturing cops, also, by the way. I don't want you to miss a salient detail. When NASA's climate modelers we're already seeing the out-migration of climate migrants, and the world could see up to 1 billion climate migrants this century, according to the Lancet Commission. And if you think about how bad the political knock-on consequences of a few million have been in triggering xenophobia and ultranationalism, it's difficult to imagine what 1 billion climate migrants would be. So those two little pathetic slivers on the left, the single state of Florida has more solar panels than the entire continent of Africa. This is a disgrace. This is a disgrace for our world community. Africa has 60% of the solar potential of the entire world. Africa has solar potential that is 400 times greater than the potential of all of the fossil fuel reserves they think are located in Africa. And yet, this pitiful result, because they're walled off from access to private capital on equal borrowing rates so they can participate in this clean energy revolution. We need to change this on an urgent basis. Thank you.